Hey everyone, and welcome to Voices Abroad Unfiltered, the podcast where we have real and honest conversations about what it's like to be an international student. I'm Esther, and today I'm joined with my co-host Anouk. We are going to dive into the unfiltered and reality of studying abroad, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
That's right. If you're an international student or even thinking about studying abroad, this episode is for you. We're talking about identity, culture shock, friendships, homesickness, and that big question: do I stay or go after graduation? It's going to be a great discussion, so stick around. And today we're joined by a special guest, Mario. Please
Hola,
introduce
hola.
yourself.
Hello, my name is Mario. I am originally from Colombia, but I grew up in Spain. I'm 23 and I'm an international student studying marketing management.
Before we get into all the details and everything we want to discuss with you, make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Voices Abroad Unfiltered for more content and behind-the-scenes moments and updates.
All right, let's jump into it.
Let's start with something a lot of international students can relate to: identity. When you move to a new country, your sense of identity can shift in ways you never expected. Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit anywhere?
I definitely did, but I think it's mostly also because of the language barrier. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you enter to a group of, let's say, for example, Dutch people, they just start talking in Dutch and laughing. And as an international, I feel I'm just standing there staring and saying, I would like to also talk to be part of that. So on those moments, I think I feel a bit not belonging to them.
Is it also because you notice there's like a cultural difference?
There is a cultural difference, but I wouldn't say it's because of that. I would say because people feel comfortable talking their own language and they don't really notice you're not following, you're not there, you don't belong in the conversation.
It's their own language, so it's like easier to talk.
Yeah, sometimes I also do feel like because you are Dutch and it's like your native language and you are in your own native country, you are tend to talk Dutch so easily without even thinking about the fact that you are in a class with a lot of international students. It's just a habit. But I get, because if I ever want to do an internship abroad or a minor abroad, I would feel the same way. I'm like standing around and, for instance, not being able to speak Spanish, like, okay, how do I involve myself in this conversation? So I really get that is a big barrier within being an international student.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward.
Yeah, and of
sometimes.
course, you're from Colombia originally. You grew up in Spain and you're now living in the Netherlands. Do you feel like there's a big difference between growing up in the different cultures?
There is. Many people not speaking countries don't know the difference between Latin and Spanish culture, but there's actually a big difference. And my home is like Colombia Republic, and when I leave the door of my home, it's like, okay, I have Spanish culture. So I think I have a mix of both, and I think it's really valuable. For example, in Colombia, family is really important.
Yeah.
Wherever in Spain, it's more about friendships and people you met along your life way. And also, the way Colombian Latin people is, the movement, dancing, the music.
Yeah.
Everyone in Colombia, even in the markets, they're just dancing, singing to each other, screaming. In
Everyone
Spain,
is just happy.
yeah, in Spain, it's more happy than here in the Netherlands, but it's more controlled, I would say. So I think I'm like Hannah Montana. I have the good things of both worlds.
But then you also hear from a lot of students that when they go back home, they also feel different. Like they're not themselves anymore when they left. Do you feel that too?
I feel I'm still myself, but I realize people has not changed. For example, I don't know, when the first time I went back to Spain, I was like, my friends are the same, but I don't connect in the same way with them because I felt they're kind of stuck in their life where, for me, my mind just or I grow as a person and I just see them with the same problems, same things. And when I left, And I think I kind of evolved
Yeah.
the time I explore new culture, I learn more about myself,
Yeah.
and they have the same routine, so I notice them.
So with what culture do you think like you identify with the most? Is it Colombia, Spanish, or a
I,
mix of both?
I think it's a mix of both.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
In what way?
I would say the mindset is more, I don't know, back behind in terms of homophobic, in terms of value of women. But I also feel like they're also happier. They're also more expressive, and I think I got that. But I got the mindset of a Spanish culture. Like I'm more open to everyone just expressing and identify as they want, as having the same value as a woman in all the areas.
Yeah.
So I think I got more that Spanish background.
And when you're talking about, of course, Spanish people express themselves way more. Colombian people, Latin people express themselves so much with their hands. Have you had any troubles communicating in the Netherlands? Because here it's totally different.
For me, I think no, it's not a trouble. It's a tool that helps me because, of course, I don't speak the language, and these hands can really communicate what I need. Like,
Yeah, I get
please,
that.
some food, please.
Food,
Even
give me
if
food or drink, yeah.
the person in the supermarket doesn't understand, these hands make
They
a
make
clear
everything
solution. Yeah.
That's great. I will get that. That really helps you.
Yeah, also like I've been to Colombia once, and I also noticed like the moment that I came there, everyone was so open-minded. They welcomed me with open arms. They give you a lot of food right away. Like everyone is just happy, and because I'm Dutch, like in this culture, that's not that normal. Like here, when you meet new people, you just give a handshake, and there it's you immediately give a hug, and it's very like affectionate.
Yeah, it's
So
really
that's
different.
so beautiful to see. Like
The
a
welcoming.
difference.
You
Yeah.
feel much more welcome, I
Yeah.
think, because literally they hug you into their lives, into their houses. I think here people is more like, okay, I give you a hand, and we are gonna meet each other, like little by little each time we meet. Like from there, they want you to feel welcome. They want you to be part of
Yeah,
who
I feel
they
like
are.
Dutch people tend to have people that don't know more at a distance before welcome them into their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
like,
also think they have like strong circles.
yeah,
like
really
a
strong. Yeah.
small group of friends. They
Yeah.
don't really want to either include or move to another
Yeah, I
group
guess.
of friends.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
boundaries of Dutch people are just much higher when meeting new people. Like you go step by step. You don't give someone a kiss on the cheek when you meet them, or
No, and also I really understand what you say with like the friend groups, because I feel like that's really true of Dutch people. Like if people have a friend group that they connect with and they spend time with, and you don't, that's just hard to get into a friend group.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's something I see from outside. Like it's hard to get into a Dutch life, like
Yeah,
a Dutch
I understand
friendship.
that. Yeah.
Like you need to like work little by little.
But then how
achieve
did
it.
you, because I think, how long have you lived in the Netherlands now?
Like 3 years.
3 years. So I presume that you have some friends here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you like connect with them? Or do you have any tips for international students who come here that can help them connect and make new friends?
I think what I did is going for international.
That's definitely a tip.
That's a tip. I mean, there's a lot of international people that is in your same circumstances.
Yeah.
That is abroad for family that need also new connections.
Yeah.
So for me, that was my go-to because it's that I felt like I can get along with a Dutch person, but I think it was difficult for me to really get into the friendship circle.
Especially maybe because you're in their home country and they already have life here. So to get included in that life, you're like the little bit of the outsider. Yeah.
Exactly, Dan. Because also that circle is usually Dutch people. You know, they
Exactly.
don't have many internationals.
No.
So you're also kind of forcing them to switch, to change, to don't be able to talk that fluently, to be thinking twice before saying anything. So I think that's also why.
And then do you have like friends from different nationalities or mainly Spanish friends?
No, they're mostly abroad
Abroad,
Europe.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I
Abroad
have
diverse.
friends from Norway, from Germany, of course. There's a lot of Germans here.
Germans, a lot of Germans there.
I mean, yeah, German is also pretty similar to Dutch culture in terms of like standards and
And norms and
norms.
values. Yeah.
And also some Italy people. And I think I get along.
I feel like Italian people are also welcoming more than Dutch
yeah,
people.
so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also very expressive.
Yeah.
I think they're really similar to Spanish culture.
That's
Yeah.
probably
Even
why you
the
get along with
language.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of people assume that moving abroad just means adapting, but it's not that simple. You start questioning things about yourself, your culture, and where you truly belong.
I think sometimes it's hard to say, is it worth it to be far away? Like to feel loneliness, to don't have your family, to don't have your food. Is it worth it? Like feeling those to what you're gonna gain? I think for me that's the most difficult thing sometimes to where I question myself like, am I wasting the time here? Where I can spend it with my loved ones, or is it
Yeah.
for a good purpose? So that's the thing that triggers my mind the
It goes
most.
through your mind, wakes you up
Yeah.
at night. All right, let's talk about culture shock and homesickness. Because let's be real, we've all been there.
Yeah, definitely. Even when I'm on holiday and it's even for 2 weeks, I'm homesick.
I want to go home.
I want to go home. I want to be home. Yeah, I remember. Well, I am a Dutch student, but I can imagine that I would really easily assume that I'm prepared to go to another country, but then I would probably feel like when I arrive, I'm not prepared at all. I'm like, what is this? What is that? But then I get that the small things hit you more than the bigger things, like the language barriers and stuff. So, what is something you struggled with the most when you came here, besides the language barrier?
I think, I don't know, I need to think about it, but
Or something funny, an experience.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it's really shocking also how when you go grocerying and shopping sometimes, I feel like the assistant don't give a shit about you. He's just there because he just get paid,
He needs
and
to do
he's
his
just like,
job.
Okay, I have to
Okay,
give my
I
opinion
just
on this one because I am actually working as a cashier in a grocery store.
I'm so sorry.
No. I get because some people do like da, 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 you pay this, okay, goodbye. But I hate that because I don't live in a city, but in my town there are a lot of elderly people. And they really appreciate it if you have a little chat with them or you make a little joke.
Yes.
But in the city, I do get it because if I go to the grocery store in the city, I tend to notice that too, that they just do their work, but they don't look happy. They don't say anything. So I really understand that was the struggle.
Yeah. Sometimes where I came from, people like, hello, handsome, how you doing? How life's going? Even if they don't know you, they
No.
just want to be kind to you. Like, are you looking for something specific, something blue, like something you're wearing?
Yeah.
And I feel here it's just like, okay, tiki,
Yeah.
in your bag,
And Google.
serve to go.
Yeah. I understand that.
I also worked at Zara. Like they always have those stereotypes Zara people that work
Yeah.
there. Like they're always mad and they're just doing their job to get paid, but they're always like in a mood.
Yeah, they never look truly happy.
No. Yeah, well, I've worked there. I try to make a change. I try to chat to people, but I also worked in another clothing store, and yeah, you really notice like it depends on the people. Like older people, they would love to have conversation with you. They would love for you to ask how their day was, or if they could find anything, or give them advice. They would love that. But it's especially like I guess the younger generation that's just not that talkative, not really interested in getting in conversations. Like they're more like, I don't know you, so why should I tell you, right?
Yeah, and also I think that everyone, when they go out, like to buy something, they just wear AirPods. And it's also kind of like, okay, I'm listening to my things. Don't interrupt me. I don't want to interrupt.
But I also feel like interacting is also a thing that really has to do with culture. Because I remember, and it's not that all Greece people are like this, but I remember having a Greece girl in my class a couple of years back. and she was so introvert. She never wanted to talk, and even if I wanted to like talk to her, wanted to have a chat with her, she wouldn't respond in a way that you thought like, oh, okay, let's continue this conversation. So I don't get her. I get her for the girl like being in a supermarket or working at a clothing store, not talking to any customers. So I think it also really depends on the culture people have. And
Yeah.
Groningen is an international city, so there are a lot of cultures there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like public transport, for example, like when you're sitting in the bus, everyone is just to themselves on their
Yeah,
phone.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
that's
yeah.
true.
Is that different in Spain or in?
Yeah, of course. And mostly old people, or I don't know, people of the age of my mom, around 40s, 50s. They just like talk to you and ask you where you're going, what you do. Here is just everyone on their phones. And even the more simple things, I feel like people just go, sit down there and wait for the buses. And most of the time, they don't even say good morning or
No,
anything.
that's really
For
true.
me, that's really like how you want to start a good day to going to work or to study without people even looking at you like saying hi with the heads, you
Yeah.
know? They just ignore you. And I think people here is more in their own world. And I think in Spain, people just tend to socialize even if they don't know each other. They
Yeah.
just, hi, how is your day going? Where are you going to study? And like that, you already know the people that even go in the bus with you, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a really big change from being in the Dutch culture, because sometimes when I'm standing in a bus and you like bump into anyone, or you say you're sorry, but you don't never start a conversation. And if you do and you don't know the person, they'll look at you a little weird, like, why
What
are
do you
you
want
talking
from
to
me?
me? What do you want from me? Yeah.
Are
So
they
I
just
really
trying to
understand that.
cut off the conversation?
Yeah. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I really get, but it's also, I don't know, maybe it's also the generation, because when I'm sitting in a train with elderly people, they really tend to start a conversation with me sometimes. And sometimes I do really like, and sometimes I'm also like, leave me alone. I want to be in my own world. But yeah, I really understand that one. And if I'm in a bus, like I'm one of the persons staring at my phone, but sometimes I do think, what the hell is this world becoming into? Everyone is just looking at their phones.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes I'm also in the bus and I'm just wandering around.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just thinking like, okay, what would this person do for work, or what music are they listening to? And I'm just wondering like about their life, and it would be so nice to have like a conversation. Like, do you also experience like homesickness, or
Yeah, of course.
are there certain parts you're missing from your culture?
I do feel homesickness so many times. And
What is your
mostly-
best way to deal with that?
I just go through it, honestly, because I cannot take a bus and go to Spain like
No.
the next morning, you know. So for me, I just mostly call my parents or my friends
Yeah.
to speak and to feel like I'm still there. I'm still
Yeah.
part of their lives.
Still feel connected to them?
And yeah, just thinking in less than 6 months, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be able to enjoy it. And
Yeah.
also, I feel like since I'm abroad, I really appreciate much more the quality time with my
I
my
understand
people,
that.
with
I
my
get that.
family.
Yeah.
Before, I was like, okay, I want to go out. I want to don't come home ever again. If I
No.
could go the latest, the better. But now I'm like, when I'm home, I'm
wanna
like,
be
I
home.
don't want to go as much with my friends. Even I just want to,
Be with your parents.
yeah, even don't do anything. Just lay down, watch something together on the TV, or cooking together. Even cleaning the house is something I miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
little things that are like the most important.
And also the food. When I,
The food.
Yeah, but then also
Definitely.
talking about food, do you like, is that also a way of coping with homesickness? Like, do you cook often, like when you did at home, but then in here?
yeah, I usually just try to cook as I would do if I
Yeah.
would live there. And I
Yeah.
think that's also a way that I connect with my roots. Like, I usually cooked more Colombian than Spanish because of what I said before. My home is Colombian Republic. So I eat rice every day. I cook Colombian rice. I do meat in the Colombian way.
How is the
Nice.
Colombian way?
Rice?
Rice, meat.
Rice is with a lot of garlic, a lot of onion, really tiny. You first do the crystallize the onion and then add the rice to earn some onion garlic-ish flavor. Then you boil it, made it water, made it soft. And meat, in Colombia we eat meat every day and not
Oh my
only
gosh.
once a day. So
No.
I'm a meat addicted.
Breakfast,
So,
lunch, and dinner.
for real.
Oh my
For
gosh.
real. So I always needed to have a little piece of meat by the side.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm just creative with meat. I'm like, what do I have here? I'm gonna add it. What do I have here?
That's so nice. Yeah, because I hear it from a lot of people and also from really different cultures that cooking the way they did at home makes and then eating it makes them feel more at home.
Yeah.
Makes them
Yeah.
feel more comfortable, and having that reminder of home really helps them deal with other issues they have here and missing home. So you experience that the same way.
Of course. I mean, of course, not always tastes as good as
No,
it
no,
should
no.
or as your mom does.
Yeah.
But
Those
there's
are
some
the best
days
recipes.
Yeah.
the best. Your mom and grandmas are.
Yeah.
The love of moms.
But when it tastes a little similar, you're just like, I feel
It's
like
just-
I'm home. I feel like
Yeah.
this person could prepare that, and you get a bit homesick. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you're like, okay,
It's at
I'm
least a
here.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Oh,
piece of
that's so
them.
nice. Yeah.
So if anyone needs inspiration for the dinner tonight, here you go.
Yeah. Rice,
Contact
meat.
me, paella.
Yeah. Colombian way. That's so nice.
And what about Spanish music? Do you listen a lot to Spanish music to connect with?
I listen
culture?
all the time to music. I'm all the time listening to music, and yeah, it's a way to connect in. It's a way also to know what's happening in my country. Cause
What are the trends?
yeah, what are the trends? What is people listening? What new artists are popping up?
Yeah.
And also to connect more with my Latin roots, I listen to a lot of salsa, bachata,
A little
merengue. So that allows me to really connect with that Latin part of myself because it forced me to move.
Yeah.
It reminds me to parties with my family where everyone is just
Yeah.
dancing hours and hours and hours and just having fun, and people in the street you dance. So
Yeah,
when I
because
listen
also
to that, I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, let's dance.
I get that because I feel music also, you really easily connect music with the memory. And then when
Yeah.
you listen to a certain song, you think of that night and you're like, oh, you get a
Of
warm feeling.
course.
Yeah.
And to people, songs connect to people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I
You
sing this
connect
song
each
with these
other.
people.
That's-
This
yeah.
song, it was the song that this person used to play all the time
Yeah.
or sing loud. So,
And it's
yeah.
just something, I guess, that makes you really happy. Like when you're homesick or you're missing your country and you listen to music and it just makes you happy, makes you vibe. And it just, I guess it kind of could help with homesickness.
Yeah.
Does it do that for you too?
It
That's
does.
not a tip.
And for me, I cannot be sad and listen to salsa, you know. I need to dance and be
There's
in a
no
good
way. You
in
can,
a
like,
good
sense it.
mood
Yeah.
to start dancing salsa.
Yeah.
When he's
So-
cooking his rice and his meat and he has having his salsa, I'll be like,
Oh my
ah,
literally, I'm just cooking and
throwing the
just
onions
throwing
in.
things.
Yeah.
Just everywhere
Making
you go,
everything
you
change.
need
In
the
salsa.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit deeper about friendships as an international student, because making a friend is one thing, but saying goodbye, that's a whole other challenge.
Yeah, I think it was hard to say the last goodbye to the people
Yeah.
that knew that I was going abroad. But I think with the time, you also value those truly good
Yeah.
friendships.
Mhm.
Because before coming here, I thought I was really social and that I have plenty of friends back at home, like so many people that I used to talk to. But since that last goodbye, I realized maybe I was not that important in their lives. Maybe,
I mean, I feel like
Yeah, I
we
was not
lose
such a
track
good
of each other
friend.
really easily without noticing,
Yeah,
because
like,
you're so far away from each other. Did you
Mm.
Yeah.
experience that too? Yeah.
you
both
cannot
have
hang
your-
out
No,
with
you
them.
both have your own life and
But also, it makes you filter people that is actually worth it,
Yeah.
that are really good
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Because if they do care about you, they make an. It's that I think it's an extra effort to
Hmm.
keep a relationship when you're not there, because you need to put more of yourself, saying like, okay, how is your life going? Let's call. Let's
Yeah.
keep texting. When you see each other, it's really easy
Easily.
to
You
Mm.
talk, you
Yeah, to
chat, you
talk.
yeah. Yeah.
and to have new memories to talk about. Like, yeah, last
Mhm.
night it was fun. Blah, blah, blah. But you don't have that with people that is far away. So
No,
But
because
I guess it also could be hard.
yeah,
Like you're living so far away, and
Do you
sometimes you
yeah.
just miss hanging out with them. Or do you
Yeah,
experience
do you
that?
feel like you're missing out on stuff that your friends are currently doing at home while you were here?
at the beginning, I was. Also, because my city is Cáceres and it's not such a big city. And since I left, so many festivals has came there. So many artists that I love has been there, and also so many parties where, yeah, I used to go, and where everyone in the city and around it goes, and it's a time to connect, to have fun, and I see them there, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just in Groningen on a normal Thursday.
yeah.
I would love to be there, but
They're having fun and I'm here, and you can
Yeah.
like get on a bus and be there in 10 minutes.
yeah. So I do have a still of FOMO,
Mm-hmm.
Ah, nice one. Yeah.
yeah,
Fear of
Fear
missing
of
out.
missing out.
Yeah.
but with the time that fade away, like, yeah, sometimes also when I have plans here, I'm like, I don't really want to go out. I'm super comfortable, super
Yeah.
warm, and also because it's freezing outside most of the time. So
Yeah.
I don't want to freeze my balls. I want to keep to stay warm here, watching the series, some trash fruit.
Yeah, and I think that makes friendships even more intense because
Yeah.
you know they might not last forever, because they always say like you only know who your true friends are when something either happens to you or you're on the other side of the world. Like the people who really are still interested in you are your real friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think you bond more with that people
Yeah.
that choose to stay. For example, I
Mm.
have a best friend, and I know whatever is happening in my day, how bad it is, I can just call and start laughing and laughing about things that
That's so nice.
we make fun since
Yeah.
we grew up together. So she really knows how to push me up and
Push you
how
up,
to
yeah.
raise me up.
That's so nice.
And also, yeah, I think I just keep like 4, 5 friendships. And I used to be like big groups person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it makes me realize that the people who's worth it,
They
it's gonna
stay.
stay there.
They
They
stay.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's really hard because you meet amazing people, but you also know that at some point they or you might leave. So that can be pretty hard. But yeah.
I think it helps you to say, okay, people is just come and goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give them that such importance. Also here, I don't know how much time I'm gonna be here or when do I need to go for my internship. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so I just think it's easy to think like, okay, people is gonna be there when it must or is meant to be there, but maybe in 2 days, in 3 days, they're not be longer part of your life, and that's alright. You don't need to
Yeah.
force and try to give someone that
Hold on
doesn't
to
really
them.
want to
Yeah.
be there. So
Get
I
that.
think being abroad, it also helps you to realize that
Yeah.
people
but-
goes and
And in the beginning, like when you started making new friends, connecting with people, have you also thought about that? Like, hey, I'm going to make new friends, but I don't know how long they will stay, or if I'm going to go, will the connection stay? Is that something you thought about as well?
honestly, no. Honestly, I was like, I just need new people. I'm just gonna try to be with them as much as possible because it's that I left my whole life back behind. So the new people that show up, I didn't thought like in a future. I just was like, right now I just need people around me and
Yeah.
I want to keep you around.
They vibe with me, I vibe with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But then, and also then you're from Colombia and Spain, both. But then I still have to do an internship or a minor abroad. And for instance, if I would go to Spain or Colombia, do you have any tips or anything that you think that would be a barrier for someone from another nationality, not specifically Dutch, but something they would struggle with when entering Colombia or Spain?
I will say, as I don't know, we're really welcoming, but
Yeah.
also we're really bad with languages.
Yeah.
The rest of I think North European countries
Mm-hmm.
they speak through 2, 3, 4, 5 languages,
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
and I think Spanish people are really bad. I mean, mostly old generations but new generations are not either that good. So I think language is a bit bad for us, languages, but I would say just try to smile and
Stay happy.
yeah,
Learn
people it's
Spanish.
going to
Yeah.
going to connect to you and just go out. Honestly, in Spain, if you want to make friends, just go out. Everyone is just gonna be super welcome, invite you to drinks, join their groups, and I think like that is really easy to
So
make.
your biggest tip is just to go out, talk to people you don't know, get
Yeah.
into the groups. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's also kind of mandatory to be able to speak with him. I guess does the younger generation in Colombia usually speak English or
I would say,
also not?
yeah, most Colombian people kind of speak English, the newest generations. Also, cause nowadays everything is in English, big
Yeah.
series,
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
entertainment, everything is in English. So I think it's getting more international, but still, if you want to go to supermarket, probably not like here, you will be able to talk in English.
No.
You will need
just,
to learn a little
Yeah.
tomato.
Mato, yeah. You just need to learn the basics when entering
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of those countries. Yeah.
And what places would you recommend if someone is looking to go for their internship or
Ooh,
minor
yeah, that's a
to
good
Colombia or
one.
Spain? What places?
Oof. In Spain, I will recommend the south because I think it's the best people. Like in Andalusia, the people is the most open, the better weather, and I think it's the most beautiful part of Spain. So I will say Cádiz, Málaga. If you're more into big cities, I will recommend more Barcelona than Madrid because it has beach,
Yeah.
it has big industry.
Malaga is beautiful.
Yeah,
I
And
want
the
to go there
people
someday.
is super, super nice in the south.
That's so nice.
And in Colombia, I would recommend just go to Colombia. You will
Go
love,
to the
Anywhere.
country.
yeah, you will love anywhere.
The
Like
jungle.
yeah, the
Amazon.
Amazon, the mountains, the
Good luck finding a
Paradisiac
school in the
beach.
jungle.
Literally,
You never know.
You never know.
you never know. You will fall in love wherever you go in Colombia. You will fall in love with that part of
But also
Colombia.
there are like different types of nature and environments in Colombia, right? There's like the jungle, there's beach, there's big cities. Like,
Yeah, I think people don't realize how big it is. It's 4 times Spain, Colombia, and we have so also so many cultures there. We have uh, we have the capital. We also have Medellin, that is the music, more artistic area. We also have mountains like cordilleras. We also have paradisiac beaches like the ones you see in Bali, in Pinterest, San Andres. So I think whatever kind of tourism or whatever you want to, yeah,
you can find
experience,
everything.
you can find it there.
So then if I can sum this up, what you just said, the biggest tip for going to Colombia is just get out of your comfort zone. Just
Yeah.
get into it.
People is gonna welcome you. And
Yeah.
more if you sounds bad, but if you're white and they see you're outsider, they're gonna try to love the land. Like they will love
Yeah.
you to say, okay, Colombia is wonderful.
It's wonderful. Just
So-
enjoy, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess also like I know some people have like these thoughts like Colombia might be dangerous
Yeah,
and things like that.
that's
But
a good
that
one.
kind of changed over the last
Yeah.
period. I heard like Medellin, for example, it was like the most dangerous city in Colombia, but now it totally changed and it's super
Really, because
artistic and
I
everything.
feel like that is something students struggle with when going to Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people have a wrong mindset also because news and series like Narcos that's not really helps to have
No,
a good
very
image
true.
of what it happens.
true,
It's
yeah.
like those things or those mindset is like from Colombia of 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So and because of that series, that means that just stay
Yeah.
in people's mind. And I think it's really sad because
Yeah.
our culture
It's
is much more
beautiful.
the violence and drugs, you know? So I think people just go there, be happy, take off those stereotypes you have because it's not insecure. Of course, I would recommend to go with a local because it's not as safe as Europe. It's not as safe as the Netherlands. You need to know where to do and when to do it.
Where to go? Where not
But
to
of course, I was never afraid. Like, okay, I'm gonna die here. They're gonna kidnap me or
Yeah.
anything. I've never been afraid in Colombia.
Yeah, before I went to Colombia, I was also thinking about those things like, what if it's dangerous? What if something happens? But yeah, I was with a local family and they were just very welcoming and I just felt
Very
safe
true.
with them. Like
Yeah.
they at least know where to go and where not to go. And I mean, it's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful country. Just it's
What
amazing.
did you like the most about it?
Wait, what did I like the most? I really like, yeah, the people. I think the people is what shocked me the most. Like how friendly they are, how open they are,
Welcoming.
how welcoming, and they're so nice. I think I've never met like people that nice, and it's just so beautiful. Like the culture. I also had dance classes. I learned bachata and salsa, and that was just amazing to experience. Like just the whole vibe of the dancing, happy people, and just I also was at a party with the whole family, and everyone was just dancing with each other. Also, like um, all grandpas wanted to dance with me, you know, like have bachata with me, but and I
have
didn't
an
know
image of
how.
that in my head right now.
It sounds worse. No, but I mean, it's beautiful. Like, yeah, the culture is amazing. The food is also amazing.
Amazing. But for how long did you go to Colombia?
I went for 3 weeks.
And then even in those 3 weeks, did you struggle with something? Like, was there anything you struggled with the most?
The language, for sure. Because, yeah, I mean, I'm learning Spanish. I know un poquito. But, yeah, it's hard to talk with people if they don't speak the same language or if you're not speaking the same language as them. But, of course, Google Translate helps.
Yeah, true.
And of
also
course
the
there were
hands help. I just
the
learned
hands.
the hands
Yeah.
help. The hands help.
And I mean, I was with someone that spoke Spanish as well, so and English, so
English,
that way
yeah,
I could
that's nice.
communicate.
Yeah.
But I think even
Communicate for
though
business.
they don't speak Spanish, they really try to
Yeah,
communicate.
they try.
Yeah.
And
They
even
really
though
try.
you couldn't understand, they got what they wanted to say along just by the gestures,
Express.
just
Yeah.
by the love they
Mm.
express when
They're
they
really
want something.
open-minded. That's something I really noticed.
So without really having conversations with you, they still are trying to get to know
Yeah,
you,
they're
but then
really
in a different
trying.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. I never heard that. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I would like to go back to Colombia.
One day,
Same.
one day.
One day.
All right, before we wrap up, I just want to say if you're an international student going through any of this, you're not alone. We've all been there. Well, I haven't been there yet, but I will be there when I go abroad. And it's okay to feel all of that emotions that come with this experience of going abroad.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you. If anything in this episode resonates with you, send me a message or send us a message on Instagram or TikTok at Voices Abroad Unfiltered, and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, and especially also if you have any questions or anything you want to know about a Pacific culture you might be entering with your internship or your member abroad, or you even studying abroad, just send us a DM or react on one of our posts. We will read it, and we will maybe ask that to our next guest, next episode.
And thank you so much, Mario, for joining us today.
Of course, it was
Really nice to hear your thoughts, your experiences.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so
insights,
much
your
for inviting
perspectives.
me. Muchas gracias. It was a whole pleasure.
Yeah, we really learned a lot about Colombia.
We did.
Yeah.
Next trip is going to be there.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, new internationals, they're waiting for you.
Ooh. I certainly feel like I need to go to Colombia now.
Yeah, I mean, we have to.
We have to.
Invited.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Voices
Thank you so
Abroad
much.
Unfiltered.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.